We live in an age infatuated with the human body. Each year, billions of dollars are spent on cosmetics, exercise equipment, fitness clubs, fashion vitamins, and diet books. Beautifully fine-tuned bodies are paraded before us in every form of the media. The perfect body, we're told, is the one with the sleekest form and the firmest muscles. Along with the body craze has come an obsession with sex that has reached insane proportions. The media promotes it for all it's worth, constantly exploiting our God-given sexual desires. Nothing new, this obsession. We find this same issue surfaced in ancient Corinth more than 1900 years ago. Although many modern beliefs are reflected in the Corinthian behavior, their view of the human body differed greatly from ours. They believed, like other Greeks and Romans, that the body was a prison or tomb of the soul. They thought the body itself had no moral value, but because of its sensual appetites, it seduced the soul to sin and dragged it down into the gutters of vice. Two schools of thought emerged from this philosophy. One group became ascetics, those who, through harsh self-discipline and even self-mutilation, tried to curb the body's desires. Others became hedonists. They believed that, since only the soul would survive death, it didn't matter what was done through the body, so they gave the body every opportunity to quench its lustful thirst. This hedonistic quest for pleasure gripped the sexually licentious city of Corinth and unfortunately also infected its Christian inhabitants. The Corinthian Christians had perverted God's view of the human body. Imbalanced in yet another area, they had fallen off the spiritual tightrope and landed headfirst on the hard, cold, cement consequences of sin. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 12 through 20, Paul not only picks them up and sets them back on their feet, but brings balance to our contemporary extremism as well. Freedom is a wonderful thing. In the light of freedom, there comes one question, and it's a question that relates to the Corinthians. The Corinthians were slaves of their own bodies, their own lust. Whose slave are you? Are you serving sex, money, ambition, alcohol? Or, like Paul, are you a slave to God in righteousness? Remember, whatever controls you, whatever drives you to keep living each day, masters you. It's not too late to change masters. The choice is entirely yours, so the question will be, whom will you serve? God has called each one of us to be ambassadors for Christ. God could have used mirrors to reflect His person, but He didn't. He could have sent angels to reveal His character, but He didn't. He gave that privilege to His children, to you and to me. What kind of ambassador are you? Have you learned the language of the lost, the syntax of their suffering, the nuances of their fears? And when you shake the hands of the world's citizens, do you reflect the warm, loving image of God Himself? To be ambassadors means that we have to keep ourselves pure, and purity starts in the mind. Solomon put it this way, "For as a man thinks within himself, so is he." In Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians, he gives some advice for staying pure. "But examine everything carefully, hold fast to that which is good, abstain from the very form of evil." So take a magnifying glass to your thought life. Are your thoughts making their home in the center of what is good? Or are they camping dangerously close to borders that are improper, impure, or immoral? As Paul urges, "Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good repute, if there be any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, let your mind dwell on these things. So here's the bottom line. You've been bought with a price. Glorify God in your body. God let His Son die to redeem us from sin. One day, God will raise us up from the dead as He did with Christ Jesus, so we can reign with Him forever. In the meantime, the Lord expects us to live according to His standards. Why shouldn't He make this demand? He has bought us at the highest price. He's given us the noblest vocation. He's prepared us for the most glorious end. How can we do less than honor Him through obedience, especially through our bodies? Who are you serving with your body? If you belong to Christ, shouldn't you be serving Him? Maybe a better question is, are you serving Him? If not, flee the enslavement of immorality and run back to the liberating arms of Jesus. Jesus is alone worthy, a worthy master whose yoke is easy and whose load is light. So come to Him if you're weary of the pain, if you're heavy laden with the guilt of immorality, and He will give you rest.